Hey everybody, this is Chris from Fine Motor Skills. I'm here as usual with Mark. It's hard to see him because of the aura that is about him from the sun, right? Anyway, so we're going to be taking apart some Chevrolet big block heads today, and we wanted to show you how it's supposed to be done and a few little nifty tips and tricks maybe along the way. So I'm going to let Mark kind of narrate this whole thing, and we'll show you exactly what's going on. Let me flip this camera around here. All right, this is 454 head off of our 454 block that we are building for one of our customers, and we got some old valves and springs, retainers and locks and all that good stuff, and these are just oval port heads. These are actually some of the best heads you can get for a 454. So
for the street.
For the street, yeah. The big rectangular port heads are great for, you know, the track racing applications, right? So
here's the first tip. Tip number one: don't be a dumbass and put a big port intake on little tiny oval port heads. You're welcome.
And why is that, Mark?
That's why. Poor little air and fuel molecules just rammed straight into a frickin' wall.
Yeah.
Killed them all.
Yeah.
Poor little air fuel molecules. Anyway, this was an odd mixture of things. Somebody'd been in this engine before because all the mains and rods were numbered. We had different oil galley plugs in the front. Somebody put a hex oil galley plug in the front with a little squirter hole for the timing chain, but for some strange reason they had the old original camshaft still in it and just a bunch of old junk in there. So why the hell would somebody do that much work to get that far into it and not fix things? Anyway, that's why we have it. So just going to pop the heads apart, and as I can see right here, that retainer, those locks are kind of beat down into that retainer a little bit, so just give them a little tappy tap so they don't go flying across the room and I pop them apart.
So the reason we're tapping it with a hammer is so that the valve releases from the seat, correct?
Yeah, so the retainer, if you leave it all bound up, you put the air to it, nothing happens, you hit it with a hammer and the little locks go flying all over the place, and it's a pain in the ass. I'm already old and irritable, and I don't want to have to go chasing them.
So this is a valve spring compressor. This is a pneumatic valve spring compressor. As you can see, we just took the locks out. There's the retainer and spring. And this thing is a godsend if you're taking apart heads. So what we're doing is we're just basically, this little cylinder back here is actuated when he hits the trigger. It presses against the valve.
It's like all the little snowflakes out there. It's triggered.
It's triggered, yeah. And then, so basically at that point in time, it compresses the spring down and lets you take the locks out. Those are the locks. And then you can just basically take the whole spring out. It's pretty neat. So,
and nobody dies.
And nobody dies. Oh, almost done.
Except the phone. The phone's the only thing that dies.
Let's see, there it is.
Skill level 0, right tools 10.
So now we're going to take all the valves out and the umbrella seals.
Super sweet umbrella seals.
Those things suck, don't use them.
Yeah, they do really good at pumping oil down your guides.
And so yeah, he's just taking off all the seals. We're going to pop the valves out, and after that,
you get a kind of a feel. Now, what's odd, these are still soft, so that tells me there's no way they're the original ones from 1976 because they'd be plastic. So again, somebody's been in here, they did all the trouble taking it out, taking it apart, and then just did stupid half-ass things. So
I tend to find that a lot.
Guides, quite a bit of wear, as expected. Exhaust not bad, intakes done. Well, they're all done because they'll all get bronze guides. Do one, do them all. Yeah, they're pretty.
So he's checking the side-to-side movement there as he's kind of wiggling the head of the valve back and forth.
Yeah, super unscientific, but it's enough to tell me that they're used up. Fortunately, the head of the valve's not all mushroomed out, so they slid right out. If that gets all beat up, you want to make sure you file that down instead of forcing it through. Our seal was actually really good. We got a nice shiny ring all the way around the intake. Same on the head. It's a little on the wide side, but it was sealed up really nice, which I'm very surprised. Didn't expect to see that. Looks like they cut about a 1 degree difference on the exhaust valve. That's an old-timey trick where they would do that, and the theory was that the valve would eventually feed into the seat, and that's all wrong, and that's a lie, and it's stupid. So as you can see, it didn't seal very well. We got a good ring here, but you can see there's a lot of carbon built up in the exhaust valve, and they were losing a little compression on it because it was blowing past the valve, and the next step would be the valve completely burned up and no seal whatsoever. So, but yeah, just used up old valves. But yeah, sealed up surprisingly well. Didn't have compression anywhere else, but had a good valve seal. All right, that one I'm gonna have to file. Yeah, that one was blown by pretty good. That one we have to file. None of them appear to be bent. That one had carbon blowing up in the guide. That's how loose that guide was. We were getting a lot of exhaust blowing up into the valve guide, and you can always tell when that's happening because they'll get really tight as they're about to go in. So. But yeah, pretty much what we were expected to find, other than a slightly better valve seal than what I thought I'd see. But yeah, now I just got to get a little file, take some of the big burrs off here, they'll slide out, and then we have a fresh set of disassembled old stock heads.
All right, so there you go, guys. Real short and sweet, but well, maybe not so sweet if Mark's involved. But anyway, thanks for checking the video out, and I'm going to put my ugly screen here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us as always, and if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You know, I got the cranky old man here who's been around the machine shop a long time, and he's seen a lot of engines, so most likely he's going to have an answer for you. Anyway, again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.
I got the answer. Don't be a dumbass.